Sefer Yehoshua, as we discussed in many videos on the introduction, is a very important sefer. We're going to jump right into it. The first parak is the Haftorah for Parshas Vizos HaBracha, whether a person's Sfarad, Ashkenaz, and there's a tremendous amount to discuss. We're going to break down the first pasuk into probably around 3 different videos to break it down. This is going to be the first one. We're just going through the main Mefarshim over here. We're going to start with the pasuk itself. Vayihi acharei Moshe Eved Hashem. That it was after the death of Moshe, who is the servant of Hashem. Vayomer Hashem Yehoshua ben Nun Masharis Moshe Lemor. And Hashem tells Yehoshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moshe, saying. Let's just start by asking a lot of questions. First of all, what on earth is going on? What is the Sefer going to start talking about? We're going to address that. That's question one. Question two, what is a Vayhi? Vayhi always refers to something bad. What is bad that is going on over here? Question number three, what is the Vav coming to do? It's coming to connect something. Question four, why is Moshe being called Eved Hashem? And what is an Eved Hashem? 4 and 5. Question 6, it says, Vayomer Hashem el Yehoshua. Hashem tells Yehoshua, and then at the end it says Lamor, saying. It's repetitious. You already said Vayomer, now you're saying Lamor. You're saying twice. Another question, why is Yehoshua being called Ben Nun? Yehoshua Ben Nun. And then, why is he called the servant of Moshe? So we have a servant of Moshe, and we have just a servant of Hashem. Like, what's going on? There's a lot of servants over here. And then we're going to discuss something else as well. So let's just basically start with Rashi. Rashi explains, Mechuber al Seder HaTorah. We're over here connecting the order of the Torah. The Torah concludes in Misayemis b'Psiras Moshe v'Zemechuber lo. The Torah concludes with the death of Moshe, and now this is connecting. We're connecting the Navi to the Chumash. Also, the Metzudas David says this as well, that the Vav is coming lahoisif, v'havav lahoisif l'chabel l'masher shlima Torah b'sefer Mises Moshe, that which the Torah said before, talking about the death of Moshe. Now it's coming to connect the two together. That is basically the idea over there. This Radak, we're gonna come back to this. Mhm. We're gonna come back to all of these ideas over here, everything over there. Now, the Sefer Mesilas HaNeviim, Rabbi Binyamin Eisenberger, he explains that was the Vilna Gaon actually, who says that he didn't merit being called an Eved Hashem, a servant of Hashem, until now. And this is really great. For example, basically what he says over here is, based on this Vilna Gaon, that when someone is a servant of a ruler, so then that's great. If you think like the people in the White House, for example, they wear nice clothing, they have nice positions and everything because they're servants of people who are great. So it's the same thing, lahavdil, that when it comes to this as well, and in Shemayim. That's why being a servant is a good thing. And then he addresses the question as to why it says bin nun. He basically gives two answers. Number one, there's a Ramban he gives a few answers. He says that there's a Ramban who says that bin nun, basically, if you write bin nun and you put it all together, it's like navon, which is means smart or wise. Okay, maybe you could say ben nun also, but okay, you can look into that more. And then the Magali Amukos comes along and says the bin nun alludes to the fact that Moshe Hashem really that how Moshe had such a great level. And then afterwards, that Hashem told Moshe, reveal to Yehoshua all of those 50 levels. The gematria of Nun is 50. So that's basically the idea. Also, the question is why Nun? So a lot of technicalities and other answers when it comes to diktuk. But anyways, this is the basic idea over here. It should be pointed out that the Bereshis Rabbah, as well as the Bereshis Rabbah and Samach Beis Dalet, as well as the Yalkut Shimoni, says that that basically how Hashem appointed a new leader immediately after, and how great it was, and that's what needed to be done, and that's what happened. And so that was something great that Hashem did. The mission in the beginning of Pirkei Avos, we have all the recordings from Rabbilan.com, discussed the opening mission. It says that Moshe Kibul Torah Misino and Masr Yehoshua is the Canaan, that Moshe received the Torah from Har Sinai and then transmitted it to Yehoshua. Ask Rashi. Why is it going to Yeshua? Ask Rashi. V'lama nemar u'masru Yeshua v'lo Elazar. Why was it given to Yeshua? Why not to Elazar over here? Why wasn't it given to the 70 Zakanim? Why wasn't it given to Pinchas? Rashi says, you know why? Rashi says, Lo ratz lamasra lamisha yamemis atzmum v'nu'ua bo'alei chachamim v'kana shem toy bo'olam. That Hashem only wanted to give it the Torah, and Moshe wanted only to transfer the Torah to someone who put in a lot of effort in the tents of the Chachamim, around one the wise people, and acquired a good name for himself. That's why it says Yeshua. Yeshua beinu nar lo yomish mitaycha oel. That's the idea over here. There's another answer that's given that Yeshua was very humble. That's the Chazdiav. It's quoting in the Bir Habshat footnote Zion in the Masifta that he was very, very humble, and this is similar to Har Sinai. So that solves that dilemma. Now, we have some other things that we need to discuss over here. Number one is that the ArtScroll gives a introduction and says that they had a mourning period for Moshe. Now it was over. Yehoshua was on the bank of the Yarden, the Jordan River, to enter into this land. All right. So Hashem basically told him, you have to be a leader, and your authority has to be unchallenged, and you have to be strong, and that's what it comes down to. And that was the prophecy, which was the foundation for Yeshua's leadership. Okay. Now, the Ralbag explains the gist of basically what's going on over here. That if Moshe would have led the Jews into Israel, they would have easily and permanently conquered the land, all because of his greatness and the miracles that would have accompanied him. Right? But Moshe was prevented from doing so because they weren't worthy. Take a look in Devarim Aleph Lamed Zayin. Now, Yeshua was great, but he was not as equal as Moshe. So he didn't succeed in conquering all of the land. Right? They say, take a look at the Perek Yud Gimel in Shoftim. They say, look at Perek Yud Gimel in Yehoshua, and as well as Shoftim in the first two prakim. But anyways, Hashem nevertheless still encouraged Yehoshua to pursue his mission undaunted and unafraid, because he would prevail over the Canaanite nations wherever he fought them. Hashem cautioned Yehoshua, especially not to deviate from the commandments of the Torah, and to be zealous and serious with learning Torah, because Torah is the primary means for a Jew to achieve personal fulfillment. Very important line. Now, that is basically the idea over here, right? So that is the story with Yehoshua. Now we have another question that we need to address over here, which is we address the question of the Lamor business. That the pasuk starts off by saying, "Achri Moshe Hashem vayomer Hashem el Yehoshua ben Nun misharis Moshe Lamor." So why does it say it twice? Why exactly is there repetition over there? Why does it say it twice? Right? So the Vilna Gaon explains that the word lamor symbolizes the beginning of a statement. Right? Before the word lamor, Hashem was speaking to Yehoshua. The word vayomer teaches us that Hashem spoke with Yehoshua, and he can in fact receive prophecy. The word lamor relates what Hashem actually told Yehoshua. So a very technical question and a very technical answer, but nevertheless, it's still something that needs to get dealt with. All right, so basically what's coming up for the rest of this pasuk that we have to address is who is considered Eva Hashem, and what is that practically for us, and how did Yehoshua merit being called Moshe's servant? And then we have to have another discussion about why it's better to serve a Torah scholar, Talmud Chacham, rather than from learning from him. So that's going to be coming up.